In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to synchronize any changes you've made in the sorter back to your timeline. And generally speaking, you should have the mindset that any changes you do make in the sorter, you want to get back to the timeline, because the timeline is really the best repository for your information, because you could always recreate sorters from your timeline or movie package, but not necessarily always recreate timelines from your sorters. So let me first just point out the fact that, in these first 9 rows, I have one instance note on the 5th instance. Down in the 9th instance, the duration right here of that instance is all zeros, which doesn't make any sense to me. And I have 4 group columns: enters, maneuver, intersection, and date right now. Okay, after the magic of editing, let's draw your attention to the fact that I've added a new group column called safety and some labels that say unsafe for some of the instances that I feel are unsafe. And then I added a couple new instance notes that give me a little more information about why those instances are unsafe. And I changed the duration of this 9th instance back to 4.5 seconds. Before we go over the synchronize, let me point out that the fact that if I hover my mouse over this first instance in the timeline, which correlates to this row right in the sorter, there is no transcription or instance note there yet on that instance. You can look just above the number line. There's no annotation there. So the idea again is that I want to push all these changes back to your timeline. So I could select these specific rows if I wanted, but I'm just going to do Command A, because generally speaking, we want all the changes from the sorter to go back to the timeline. So you can see all the rows there are highlighted. Now I'll click Synchronize on the sorter. And then if I hover my mouse over the first instance back on the timeline here, you can see that over to the right, just above the number line, we have the unsafe label, which wasn't there before, as well as the new instance note there, almost hit by pedestrian. At least you can see the start of it on the timeline. So that's how you can sync the changes from the sorter back to the timeline. Just a note that it's not a true sync in that there's information going in both directions. It's more of a push from the sorter to the timeline. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.